Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm the Serious Strategy Gamer and we're returning to Rule the Waves 2. It is 1923 and we've just increased tensions with the United Kingdom quite a bit. So what we're actually going to do is increase our intel efforts against the United Kingdom. So we are probably going to enter war at some point against the United Kingdom, which does have a very, very strong naval force. About 11 battleships. If we do count France and the Soviet Union as well, we are up to, well, potentially 20 or so enemy battleships against our 11, so that's going to be very interesting. They also possess an advantage in battle cruisers. They do have about twice our numbers. So yeah, we'll need to be very, very vigilant against these guys. We do have a couple of ships in service. We are also building up quite a couple of smaller ships right at that moment. In between episodes, I did go ahead and for the San Juan class over here, which is our pretty much colonial cruiser, I did go ahead and rename these guys. Well, I think, you know what? I'm still debating whether this is a good design. So, for example, what we could do is we could remove the number 1, 2 and B turrets. There we go. And simply add one forward triple turret. And I think that would be considered a legal design and would actually free up a little bit of power, so it would actually be a more versatile and better ship. And you know what? If we were to do this, we could also simply remove the aft center line, so the W, and add in place of the W another double turret at least. There we go. No, sorry, it shouldn't be the W, it should be the aft one that we are replacing. So we could do this and it would still be a better ship because now it can fire 2 guns towards the rear, 3 to the front, and all of those against the center. So again, we might even remove L and Q and add a superimposed forward double turret. We would still have weight for this and it would be carrying just about the same number of guns, I think. So yeah, this is the exact same number of guns, but we'd have 5 forward firing guns and 2 aft firing guns instead of, and a much higher broadside as well. This would be so much better. This would be so much better. If we delete the forward superimposed and just go with the triple turret here, well, that would just not be enough weight. But a double turret, I mean, it would just be better. Simply the better ship. Maybe we could remove the aft one and do a triple turret instead. Yeah, just not really, so I think... Still, I think we might want to redesign the San Juan for this setup over here. It would be much better. It would simply be a little bit better. Could even think about increasing the armor. Nope, not quite possible. Maybe a little bit more speed. Nope. Still, it's a good ship. Could do more mines. Yeah. Could also do more secondary guns. Okay, let's call this the San Juan 2. No, that's not quite a normal naming convention, but I think this is okay. How long would it take to build? It would take 20 months. So I think just given at least for the Colin and Christian head. So you know what? We are going to call this Colin. Save. Ooh, insufficient topside for AA guns. Okay, that's unfortunate, but we can fix that. Oh, okay, good. Yes, so that's going to be the Colin and the Christian head. And we're going to remove these two. We're going to simply scrap the inbuilt designs over there, and that's going to be okay because we are going to get a better ship like this. Right, during maneuvers, one of our ships has opened fire on a fishing boat from Great Britain, sinking the boat and killing several fishermen. How do we react? Do we want to offer full... No, we are of course going to increase tensions. Another breakthrough in torpedo technology, that is also very nice to see. New Soviet fighters, interesting. Tensions with the United Kingdom are increasing over here, and that's very good to see. Because of course we do want to go into war. I have gone ahead and built one more naval base. A lot of destroyers. German CA. Ooh, just look at the amount of guns. 8 9-inch guns on a heavy German cruiser. Very interesting layout, and 14 6-inch guns. This is a beast, but it has very slim armor. It's a glass cannon basically. Interesting choice though. We are close to monitoring part. Yeah, very nice. Some advances, this and there. Enables above water torpedo mounts on all ships. Okay, that's also good to see. Colon is ready for construction. Yes, let's go ahead and build the colon. And let's build another ship. The Christiansen. And so all of these ships are basically called after some of our colonies, which I think is fine. So the San Juan, the Christian Head, the colony. Oh, yeah, Christian Stead, okay. Nevertheless, let's do scrap this one as well. And now we're building a decent number of ships over here. We do have quite a bit of money left over in the bank. And I think it does make sense to design another light cruiser. I'm going to auto design that. Yes, please do that. And this should basically be our new main carrier, main fleet light cruiser. We are of course going to get its forward superimposed double turrets, I think, and the aft superimposed, let's change that to a double turret as well. So 10 guns in total, which I think should be fine. 6-inch guns, I mean, they're not the best, but all in all I think that's fine. Ship is overweight. Director for secondary guns has not been developed. Okay, so of course we do want to get rid of that. I do not think you need to be dual purpose. I do want normal accommodation. Ship is considerably overweight now, of course. We've got a couple of swivel torpedo mounts, but I think that would be good for a fleet light cruiser. We should go for magazine box and just go for slightly higher belt armor. So that basically should save about a third of the weight. So 487 with just a 2, and yeah, that works out nicely. And this does increase the protection for the magazines, but decreases it for everything else. But all in all, I think this should be fine that way. We could do some torpedo defenses. Well, of course the weight would be a big loss. 200 tons, that's a lot. Yeah, and I don't expect it to be that close to enemy torpedoes. So, all in all, this could be okay. Do we want to have that many torpedo positions, or do we want to go with a few with? I think this is okay. This will allow us to release 2 torpedoes every time, so I think that's okay. We don't want any flight installations or anything like that. Minesweeping gear would be okay, but not really required. Could do a lot more mines, which wouldn't be the worst. And more just secondary guns would be okay. Turrets are okay. Conning tower, yeah, that's okay. That's a good design. Speed 31, I think that's alright. Let's go for 12 tertiary guns. Let's increase the weight of this guy a little bit. And what we can do then is HIJK. Let's clear all of these. And let's go for HIJK with 3 torpedo mounts per side. So yeah, a little bit better there. All in all, I think a decent design. Might just want to go down here a little bit. Should be able to fend off enemy torpedoes, enemy destroyers, and all in all, yeah, I think it's okay. Could give it a little bit more belt armor. That wouldn't be the worst. Maybe 3.5 and some fewer mines. Just how much are these mines? They're not that much. So they're about what, 30 tons? No, 70 tons. Basically a ton per mine. Interesting. Belt extended is nothing. Deck is 1. 2 would be a lot more. So yeah, really not that possible. Turrets 2. Could do smaller turrets, but I mean, 2.5 is low already. I'd actually much more likely to go 3. So probably we have to increase the weight of the entire thing a little bit. 8,000 tons? Seems reasonable. Seems good to me. Some AA guns, some torpedoes. Let's see what we can increase in terms of the weight over here without breaking the bank. Obviously not this. Obviously not that. Yeah. No, all in all, I think this is as decent as it gets. 3, how about 2 on top? Yeah, that seems reasonable. Okay, I like it. Suggest name Cleveland? Yeah, why not? Ooh, it's a CA. I don't want it to be a CA. Why would it be a CA though? Probably due to the displacement, wouldn't it? No. Okay, so it's not the displacement, is it? So then it must be the armor? I don't think so. Yeah, no, it is. Interesting. Okay, well, let's do it this way. Need a little bit less anti-aircraft guns. Okay, that way would work though. Yeah, there we go. It's a decent design and does have some wiggle room in the weight. So yeah, let's save that. All good. So it will be designed, will be taking 2 months, but that should be okay. Couple of ships being commissioned. Close to improved counter. Yeah. Good stuff, good stuff. A lot of interesting developments over here. Great Britain rebuilding a couple of ships, including a battle cruiser. That's important information. Majestic 12-inch guns. Ooh, and they do have a light cruiser, light aircraft carrier. 26 knots. That seems like a decent ship. And it seems purposely built. I'm not sure that I didn't know that they could do this. But yeah. Some Soviet fighter information, not that important. We're getting some information on the Soviet corvettes, which is incredibly annoying. Advanced armor development. Ooh, internal build. Gradual improvement of armor quality. Okay, that was a typo. Research breakthrough, subdivision and damage. Yes, gradual damage control improvement. That's nice to see. Our latest control, the Cleveland is basically ready. Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's build a couple of these actually. So I would probably like at least 5. That would break the bank a little bit, but I don't think that's too harsh, because we are very close, I think, to getting to war against the Soviets. Against the Brits, of course. Soviet Navy has put a lot of effort in gunnery training. Interesting. Great Britain is increasing the naval budget. Okay. How do we look in terms of what's being constructed over here? So in about 7 to 8 months, these guys will be ready. All of these Clevelands are being built. And I'm going to rename all of these after a city with C, just so that we have a little bit more consistency there. But yeah, do we have anything else that's obsolete? We might want to reactivate the Montana and Oklahoma. They are currently in the reserve fleet. I think we're going to put them into active fleet. That's going to cost a little bit more money, but it will get their crew quality up, so that I think is important. And the New York class, which are currently mothballed. Let's have a look at the map and see where the Brits actually do have some ships. So right now over here in on the west coast, basically we do have 3 light cruisers and a couple of destroyers. Brits only have 2 light cruisers. Very different though in this area down here. So we have a light cruiser in the Caribbean, and the Brits do have a lot. They do have a battle cruiser, 4 light cruisers. And they also have a lot of equipment over here. 3 battleships in our home zone. So yeah, I think we actually have to get the New York and Ohio at least back to reserve fleet so that they can get back to their training. And that should be okay. And who are we going to send towards the Caribbean then? Could send the battle cruisers. Yeah, the Santiago class really wasn't that great. So probably going to have to send some battleships. I don't want to send the Arizona, they're a little bit too valuable. So we might actually want to send the New Jersey and Wyoming. They're not our best ships, they're actually our oldest ships that is currently on active station. But you know what? I think this is a good force to send to the Caribbean. We should also send a couple of lighter ships, particularly light cruisers maybe, to support our battleships. Or maybe even some destroyers. The Barry class, we do have a lot of Barry classes. We do also have a lot of hull classes, which are mostly working up still, so that I think is okay. But we got the Dale. Yeah, okay, so let's send the Dale. These are only 2 ships, so we'll have to send something else as well. 2 Dales, and maybe, let's say 3 Barrys. I think that's fine. Move to Caribbean. Okay, there we go, fine. Let's take the turn. Spy from the Soviet Union, yes. Maximum publicity, breakthrough, yes, 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 yes. Partial welding. A lot of information on this and that. Finishing working up by quite a couple of ships. Soviet Union have enhanced warhead explosives. Interesting, and the tension over here is going up very rapidly. Just look at all this stuff that the Brits are sending over here. Into the Caribbean. Britain has now 3 battleships, 2 battlecruisers, 5 light cruisers, 8 destroyers, 1 KE. That's a lot. Over here we are dominant, but this is an issue. Well, well, well. And we are losing money. Improved 8-inch guns. Very good to see. Very good to see, but again, that does call into question our designs, because can we actually open this design and see what it would be at quality 8? Of course, that would be a lot more weightful, but yeah, it would also count as a heavy cruiser. But that might mean we want to design a heavy cruiser very soon. Specifically, so if we open this design, wouldn't be too expensive to upgrade actually our Pittsburgh classes. And they would be a lot more powerful, I think. Let's look at the gun data. So at, let's say, 15,000 feet, they'd be able to penetrate 5-inch armor now. And before that, they were able to... No, sorry. They were able to... 15,000, yeah. So it would be a dramatic increase. It wasn't too expensive, was it? So just the rebuild of this would be, well, about $1 million for much better guns. You do have an improved director, you do have increased elevation already. We could also potentially add port side swivel mounts, just let's call that 1. I think that would be legal. Not balanced, okay. Not balanced is okay though. So we could delete these submerged torpedo tubes, and so that's what that was E. Let's have a look at D, I think. And you'd now be over water, so that'd be much more flexible. That would be pretty decent actually. Could give you some AA as well. I don't think any other of our guns does have 8-inch armor. 8-inch guns. No, I don't think so, so... Let's wait for a second over here, because we are out of money anyway. And we do need to get information on or see how exactly we are going to go and approach this going forward. In active status, okay, they are probably... Well, I would really like to fight the Soviets. Let's do this one, because it has a question mark and I don't know what it does. Okay, interesting. Improved 2-inch guns, that's also nice to see. Catapults and all of that, okay. Yeah, just 3 more months, so we might be okay with our funding right now, but we will be getting into war with the United Kingdom. And I think we're going to go into war very soon. So yeah, I think it's okay to keep the spending as is for now. Certainly don't want to do anything too rash over here. Do we need these Tuscans? What are they actually good for? 22 knots? These are junk, so yeah, let's just scrap those. I know we are at the eve of war, but I don't want to keep on spending... How much stuff are the Brits moving here? 6 battleships, 2 battle cruisers. This is insane. That's an insane amount of money they're pouring into there. So do we want to move our forces there, hope to intercept them, and just get a jump on them? And you know what? I think we are going to have to mobilize everything. Yeah, we are bleeding money now very, very rapidly. But I think that's going to be okay. Most of our ships are in good or fair condition. Except for a couple of these guys that are currently being rebuilt. Yeah, so we might have to go for the Caribbean with a couple of our battleships. That's... 6 battleships, 2 battle cruisers. How much have they actually got? 10. And a lot of their stuff is in their home waters, of course. I think our first priority, though, would be to get their possessions over here, because they are threatening our supply lines, and that's simply unacceptable. So I think we are going to keep most of our forces where they are. But in terms of research, I think something that we might want to actually do is get a little bit higher priority on amphibious operations. Machinery, development, armor, all of that is on medium, that's fine. Hull construction as well. Fire control, yes, all of this is good and dandy. Ship design is pretty high. We could do we could up our projectile research a little bit, so that we basically get better technology before the war comes. Where are actually our submarines? I don't think do they have a place? No. That's alright. Normal submarines, really. Area overview, tonnage requirements, Southeast Asia, Central Pacific, Northern Pacific. I think we are fulfilling those by virtue of our foreign station navies. 3-inch guns improved. Interesting. And war has broken out, so here we are. And indeed, we are already getting the first cruise action. And this is actually the first time that we do see a battle. So let's see. Let's hope that the enemy does not decline the battle, and that we actually do get into the warfare over here. They did decline the battle, and we are on the other hand seeing cruise action in the area of Guantanamo Bay. Battle size is small. We have very few forces in the area, but we're here and back again. The audio was simply way too loud, so I had to reload over here. So this is the game. You can see we have the world map basically. Our forces are currently down here in and around Guantanamo Bay. We do have a couple of destroyers and the light cruiser called Olympia. Over here, the Olympia does have 2 6-inch guns, 1 fore and 1 aft, and 6 4-inch guns, so these are the ones that are midships. Relatively decent armor, quite a bit of ammo, so that's okay. Some mines, a couple of torpedo tubes above water, that's certainly good to see. And yeah, we are in the area of around Guantanamo Bay. There seems to be one of our submarines down here, which is very nice to see, and there are a couple of minefields around. This is the fleet that we are currently controlling. This, I think, is AI controlled, and they are performing as a screen towards our light cruiser over here. That's okay. I think I'm gonna enjoy that. All of this up here we can ignore for a second over here. Let's simply resume the game. Can do that by hitting spacebar for one turn after the next. Oh, and I did not remember to set up our aircraft, but that's fine. There should be some air search patterns, I think. Let's CAP and recon. Yeah, that's our main force, and I think over here in Port-au-Prince we should see some aircraft as well. So this airbase, can I select it please? Yes, there we go. And see what is going to happen over here. Sorry, this one. Yeah, so there is an air search pattern that vaguely goes into this direction, and that's okay. Let's sail over here for a second and see whether we can find any enemy. There's some glare. The wind is currently blowing from the west, so we'll have to see about that. I don't think we have found any enemy yet, and the night is approaching, so this might be a very short battle actually. Some forces over here. There's of course Kingston down there. Yeah. Well, I'm afraid we'll be getting into the dark very soon, and night fighting tends to be extremely confused. But yeah, it's simply a cruise action where potentially we are not seeing too much in terms of the enemy. I think I'm pretty happy with the search pattern over there, so let's not change that, but let's do go up to a faster speed over here. So basically our forces are roaming around in a very close formation. Speed is 60 knots. I kind of doubt whether we are finding enemies, but yeah, we can. No contact between fleets. The battle is over. So the enemy had a light cruiser and a destroyer. Nobody really found anyone. Ship losses differential. They lose anything? Oh yeah, they lost the submarine. That was a little bit lucky really. Well, it's okay. So we did own a couple of victory points, or get a couple of victory points over there, but it's really not that big a deal. Right, our monthly balance is really bad though, so that is starting to hurt. We are building all of these ships, but I think we are gonna pause the construction of a couple of our colonial ships for a second over here, just so we are getting a little bit more money, and that I think is okay. Yeah, so we are spending a decent chunk of our money now on this war. Let's see where the Brits are. They still seem to be having a very high presence down here in the Caribbean. So 3 battleships, 2 battle cruisers. So maybe we can send something down there. I think maybe all of our Delaware classes. And maybe in the Arizonas. Do we want to send down the Arizonas? We can probably do that. So 5 battleships. Let's send 5 battleships down to the Caribbean. And we're of course going to also send a couple of lighter forces down there that are currently on the east coast. So probably all of these Barry classes. Send them to the Caribbean. Yes, and thank you. And we have all of these light cruisers. Wouldn't mind if a couple of those stayed on the east coast. But maybe the Chicagos. 27 knots, a couple of mines, torpedoes, 6-inch guns. They have cramped accommodation and short range. No, sorry, just cramped accommodation. So, you know what, let's actually pick the Galveston over here, because I think they'll be a little bit better there in not immediately home waters. And I think that's okay. Let's expand that a little bit over here, and that's okay. Now we do have to do some anti-submarine warfare and some trade protection items. So what we're going to do is take all of these Kingfishers over here, and we are going to send it to trade protection. 22 ships. And that does fulfill our anti-submarine warfare capabilities and our trade protection as well. So I'm very happy about that. All of these guys should be fairly good at defending us. We do have a couple of ships under construction, but no corvettes or anything of the sort, so that has to be okay, I think. We might want to send a couple of light cruisers or so on trade protection. maybe not you. You're fairly fast. The Olympia over here, you're a little bit on your own actually. And we do have all of these Raleighs. Maybe you should also go to trade protection. 23 ships. Very strong capabilities in anti-submarine warfare, and I think that's great. Right, so I'm expecting that we'll over here see a major battle happening, maybe even next turn. But you know what? I think it's time to put in a cut over here and see whether we are gonna see a very heavy clash next time around. So thank you very much for watching, and I do see you guys next time. Bye bye.